and welcome to the 11th episode of Friends of Mine podcast. Got it straight away this time.
Yeah, number 11.
I just want to start off by apologising for last week because yet again I was really ill and couldn't do it.
Got to put you down, mate.
Honestly, this week's been really bad as well. If I sound a bit funny, it's because I've bit a massive chunk out of my tongue today, so it's just not going well.
How, because you're 34?
35.
I gave you a year then. And you've done it eating a Subway, you said, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm assuming you've eaten Subways before.
I have, yeah. I just miss the food. No, I have no idea. It just happens sometimes, doesn't it?
Just eating thin air.
Yeah. The weird thing is I have this weird habit of biting the inside of my cheeks and my tongue sometimes. Not like biting my tongue, but just like rubbing my teeth against it.
Grinding almost.
Yeah. And now I've forgot that I've bit it, so I keep doing it and it absolutely kills me. And I've also chopped half my nail in half at work, so it's not going well. So
you're not doing too. If you were a car, you'd fail the MOT.
Honestly, it's been so bad. But yeah, so apologies for that, but we are back. So, how are you doing? How's things? How's father life?
Yeah, not bad, mate, not bad. I think just getting back into trying to get back into the routine of sort of going back to work and not being at home all the time, which was it last week, my first week back? Yeah last week was the second, yeah. So last week was my first week back, and it was last week was a 5-day week, wasn't it? Yeah. So second week back, like first 5-day week back, and we said before the podcast, like I find this time of year like really difficult anyway, with like cold mornings, dark dark afternoons. I know it is getting lighter in the afternoons.
Slightly.
Only slightly, but it's silver linings. But yeah, father life's good, mate. Quite a busy weekend. Went and went and sat on the bench of Higham on Saturday, which was, I keep saying I'm going to retire, but keep going back. And but it was really good. It was really nice to see all of the lads, especially people, Ebbo, Ben, lads Ebbo I've known 13 years. So nice to see him. And then we took baby Frankie to the pub for the first time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What, she have a couple of pints?
Yeah, she had a couple of Stellas and had a punch up
had
on
a
the way
fight.
Yeah.
Got arrested.
So yeah, it's good, mate. It's good. It's I think I just want to be at home all the time. I'd rather be anywhere than work most days, but I think especially now, being at work's difficult. But yeah, it's good. It's good. Time just it's like, what is it, the 15th of January?
Yeah, 15th today.
Where time is just disappearing. So yeah, what about you? Good weekend?
Yeah, it's been alright, yeah. Went to London weekend, watched the football, watched Chelsea with Dean.
Okay, I've got something to say.
Oh God, here we go.
I keep hearing about you going out with Dean Mays.
Yep.
And I'm getting a little bit jealous. Okay?
Well,
I'm gonna ask
you didn't decide to have a baby.
I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think about when I'm not about?
I do, to be fair. The only reason I go out is research for the podcast, to be honest.
Yeah, that's
all I was doing was people watching and
and interviewing people.
Yeah. I've actually got some guests lined up, a couple of Chelsea players actually.
I play for Chelsea. They're going to need as much help as they can get.
Sterling's coming on. He's going to teach us how to diving.
He'll probably miss the podcast. So yeah, it was a good weekend then.
Yeah, well, it was actually really nice. We ended up, my brother was in London as well, so we ended up meeting up with him. It was really nice actually. It was a good laugh. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
How was
Need that every so often.
Hangover the next day?
It was alright. We stopped drinking quite early, so I had work the next day. So I was sort of hungover mid-afternoon as opposed to.
Because they were half-12 kickoff, weren't they?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, but yeah, I saw the result. I had a Cole Palmer fantasy football team, which is a bonus as well. Got some points.
Well, he's the only one who's likely to score, isn't he?
But yeah, good weekend on the whole thing, yeah?
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, it was really needed.
Until you chop your thumb off and bit your tongue open.
Yeah, it's just like there's loads of just little things at the minute just going wrong that are just adding up. I'm trying not to get. It's only a thumb, innit? You don't need it.
You need it.
It is surprising how much you realise you need your thumb when you can't use it though. Because I thought I broke it first, I couldn't bend it yesterday, but luckily it's come back a bit. What he says. That's about as much as I can do actually, but yeah.
Oh dear, you're not playing like luck, are you, mate?
I'm going to have some good clips this week.
Make a claim. So, obviously what we're now saying, 2 weeks into January.
Yep.
Last time we spoke about like New Year's resolutions. How are yours going compared to mine?
Yep, 2 weeks in and failed them all miserably.
Yeah.
I honestly my main, and the thing is, I always find, especially with stuff like diet and save money, is there's always an excuse. Mm-hmm. Like, and it's such an easy one. They're such easy ones, you know what I mean? Like, with me, it was like I was going to start healthy eating, but it's but you got to get rid of the Christmas food, and it's but we've got this party, and then and I'm going to London at the weekend. You know, it's like there's always a reason. Where realistically, like, you could go and do some of those things and not eat shit food and still have a good time, but it's just an excuse. I just don't have the willpower, and I'll just find an excuse. Same with the money thing as well. Oh, but I can't save money because I've got to do this and this and this. Well, none of it's really important, so. Yeah. Not great. What about you?
Yeah, pretty much the same, mate. Pretty much the same. I sort of said, like New Year's, I'm going to, start reading more. So I started rereading the book that you brought me a few years ago. Is it The 5 Rules of Life?
With Jordan Peterson.
Yeah. And New Year's Day, I read about 2 pages, and it's not moved since. I said, I'm just going to have dry January. There's 2 bottles of beer in there that are mine from yesterday. So far, mate, it's going really well.
It's just difficult, though, isn't it?
But you're right as well. It's willpower, like, especially with like the no drinking bit. I'm like, I know, I'm gonna have some time off, and then you go, yeah, but it's my birthday in January. Like, just because it's my birthday doesn't mean that I've got to. But like, it's difficult, isn't it?
But I'm exactly saying. So I thought to myself, like, I went out drinking, obviously, London, and I thought, realistically, I might be going away this weekend as well. But if I don't, I thought, realistically, I haven't got anything at the moment planned until Greg's stag do in March.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. God, so coming around quick,
I thought I could not drink till then. But I know there'll just be a random Saturday where I'm feeling a bit and somebody will be like, do you want to go spoons?
Will you be drinking when you come in on the 27th?
Oh, yeah, and that, yeah.
I mean, if you like, it depends on the, like...
I mean, I didn't drink last time I came here and had a good time, to be fair, so...
You had D. Maisie, we didn't last time.
But I find something like a stag do, it's like...
Yeah.
Can I go to a stag do and say I'm not drinking?
I also don't think it will be, like, a massively boozy stag do.
No, true.
I don't really, obviously Greg and a couple of other lads going... I don't know. It depends, don't it? I think there's quite a big group. I think you could probably, if you wanted to, like, not drink. I don't really know. And Greg's not the sort of lad who's going to start doing shots off. Do you know what I mean? It's just, so we'll see. But I'm looking forward to that.
No, it should be good.
I'm looking forward to that.
But my thing with it as well is, like, I do feel like it just loosens me up a bit and makes me just have a bit more fun. I just genuinely think it does. And again, I suppose that's just an excuse.
Do you think you're more likely to... So I will talk to anyone, as you know. Do you think you're more likely to drink in that environment because there'll be people that you don't know and it might give you...
confidence,
a bit of guts, courage to
100%.
go... Whereas, like, I just go and talk to anyone, doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
I mean... You won't do it, but you're probably not that way inclined.
No, I'm very... I really don't like starting conversations. Mm-hmm. But when I've had a drink or two, probably would. Yeah. Yeah, but it's just it. I am just quite shy, which is one thing that I feel like it's always held me back in some respects, like being a bit shy about talking to people and stuff, just because it opens up more opportunities, you know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah, but I wouldn't say also as well, like, I wouldn't say shy. Like, I wouldn't... Like, we've got other friends who, like, won't talk to... Just won't... Or not that won't talk, but really, really struggle. I wouldn't necessarily put you in that bracket, but then you're probably not as talkative as, like, myself or Damon or something like that, you know?
Yeah, it's something I really wish I could get better at, but...
Here's a question I've not asked. Going back to the job that you had before you went back to Asda, do you think maybe that's what... How would you back a little bit?
When I was just saying that a minute ago, that was one thing that came into my head when I was thinking about opportunities, that if you are a bit closed off, and I feel like naturally that means you'll ask for help less. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't know, say if you or Damon were really struggling with something, you might be able to go to a random person, but excuse me, I'm struggling a bit with this. You know, I'm the type of person who I'll do it myself, I'll try it myself, or I'll sit here and get stressed and wait until someone sees me crying and throwing stuff around to come and help me. Like, so in some respects I do. Yeah, I do. And I never give myself a chance with stuff. I mean, I'll be honest, because I've had jobs before where I've walked out after a few weeks and I've been like, afterwards I've been like, that was purely just me going on emotion. Like, got really stressed at one point and just walked out, where with this job, I don't think it was for me. Like, just the whole job in general, it just wasn't my cup of tea.
You got the vibe.
Yeah, 100%. So I don't regret it, but at the same time, I do feel like I never give myself a chance with everything in life. Really, I give up too easy.
It is difficult. I mean, I worked for the company I'm at now for like 3.5 years. Left and went back. And even going back to when I first left Asda when I started that new job. You know, I talked to when I'm a confident person, but there were parts of me in the first 2 or 3 weeks where you do think to yourself, I want this to be easier to go back.
Go back.
And I've been back to when I got made redundant. I went back to Asda, and even with this job, like I've left. I think it was 2017, 2018. Got made redundant just before COVID, and I've gone back to work for them again. And there's always a little part of me now that's always a little bit sceptical almost about moving again. Because if I move and I get made redundant again or it doesn't work out, like, don't get me wrong, 9 times out of 10 I'm not thrilled about going to work, but it's probably a bit like how you feel about Asda.
Yeah,
it's quite,
comfort.
You know, I know, I've been there so long now, I know everyone, I know all the sites, I know 90% of the staff, and it is almost, I don't know how it is for you, but just autopilot sometimes. You sort of come in,
100%.
clock in at 7 and just sort of drift through the day, and then you look at it and go, all right, time to go home. And it's just, I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I do think I always feel like you need something that pushes you a little bit or challenges you a little bit. So in that respect, I do think I'm not letting myself down, but, you know, I'm not going to live out my potential staying there, I think. Even if I ended up like progressing, becoming a manager, blah, blah, blah. I just don't feel like it's, you know, I don't know. I just feel like it's never going to be like insanely challenging, if you know what I mean. Because I've still, even if I went as a manager, I've still got other people there I can rely on. Do you know what I mean? If something's going bad, I'll be like, can you help me with this? Can you help me? There's no like figuring it out on my own sort of thing.
I think that's probably the bit that I found. So when I went into management for this company, they'd laid off. Basically, there was a restructure, and they got rid of all the previous managers. I think they kept 2. And my first day, or my first week, it was just me and one bloke. It was his first day because 2 of them the other 2 managers had COVID, and the other 2 were on annual leave. And that was just, it was almost good and bad. It was like in at the deep end, and you've just got no option but to sink or swim. So it was good, but it was also awful because there was no one to turn to, if that made sense. And then when they came back sort of the next week, I just thought it can't be any worse, because at least then you've got someone where you can almost fall back on, like you said, and you know you've got. I mean, is progression something that you are interested in? Or?
I don't know, because I've done it a bit before and thought about it before and been offered different roles and stuff, but I don't really know. I don't think so. I think I'd rather again just go the easier route. But I think as well, like some of it is a little bit of me just not wanting to like fail as well, like really bad, because obviously doing this, like you can't really massively fail at all anyway, but like when I went to that other job, when I started doing stuff wrong, like it just really got to me. Like,
I get it.
I suppose it's because there's maybe more at stake, you could argue, I don't know, but it was just
and you probably had a bit of you where you were worrying what they were thinking about you,
100%.
Or what they were saying when you weren't there, because it is, especially in an office environment, again going back to the job that I do, if we were in the office, you literally sit, so there's like a desk here and you're facing each other, and it's like all the way like, and it's dead silent, and you're doing something, especially when the first 3 months, and I'm like, I don't know how to do this.
Don't
so
want to
quiet that I don't want to ask. So you're sat there and I'll send you an email, like, because it's just, you know what I mean? And then they're going, no, don't be silly. Like, if you've got questions to ask, I don't want to ask the whole office. Do you know what? It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, and there was always like, and the thing is, I keep saying this as well, as if like I left purely because of the job, because it wasn't. There was like loads of stuff going on at the time as well. I needed loads of time off. And one thing I will say, just and I'm not saying this in case anyone listening, but in general, the actual people there and the job, like the company itself, are like amazing. Honestly, like so helpful. Really, like if you actually asked for it, like everyone from the bottom to the top was like so helpful. It was a really good company, and if anyone said to me, would you suggest that job to somebody? I'd say, well, yeah, like if they feel like they can do the office side of it and work on their own a bit and use their own and learn on the job. That's my thing as well. Like, I don't necessarily feel I'm a control freak, but like this was the type of job where they openly admitted from the get-go when I started that it was like, you learn on the job, and that freaks me out. Like, I want to know what I'm doing from the get-go, because again, it just comes from letting people down, like, not wanting to let people down. I think it's like, even when we were talking earlier about the whole like not starting conversation or something, that's all that is. Like 100%. Like, let's say, I don't know, let's just say theoretically you were like, oh shit, Wayne, just realised like loads of my family's coming around in a minute. And I was like, oh, okay, like, or they just showed up and they came in here. I'd be like so scared of saying something stupid, and like your whole family being like, what a fucking idiot. I just like wouldn't speak. And it's so, like, obviously you don't consciously think of this, but I know that's what it is, because if like when you've had a bit to drink, you don't really care. So if I was here pissed, I'd probably be like, hey, how are you? Like, because you just don't care. But when you're sober, it's just that not wanting to say the wrong thing.
I think that surprises me in a way, because I don't ever see you like that. But then whenever I do see it, it's in this environment, or we're having wings with Damon and Tom, or we're with Dean and other people here, or whatever else. So we don't really, I mean, how did you find it? Obviously not last New Year's, but New Year's before. Obviously we had loads of people around. I mean, you were drinking, but were you drinking before you got... I can't remember. Were you drinking before you got here? Because there was a lot of people here that you... or a few people that you probably wouldn't have known.
Yeah, probably. And the thing is as well, is like, I think I'm okay once I start talking to them if the vibe's good. Like, if they're open... I think I said this before, but if they're an extrovert and they just go out like, oh, nice to meet you, Wayne, oh, I like it. Fine, I'll chat away and it'll be like best buddy. Like, for instance, like your friend James.
Yeah, good lad.
He was like that, like just so open, just how's it going, like normal open conversation, really got on well. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I just struggle with initiating it. Like, I never would have gone up to him randomly in your house and been like, oh, hi, I'm Wayne, nice to meet you. It just wouldn't have happened. I'd cower in the corner until you introduce us.
He's one guy that I always look at and think, well, one, he makes me feel old, because he's 22, 23, and I just think, and he's just so mature. Like, me and you at 23 were throwing carrots at each other down produce and and I just think to myself, well, you'd have been 35 now, wouldn't you? But yeah,
felt
again,
like it.
And he's just I think in that, but he's almost like quietly confident, whereas you've got someone, and I'm going to name drop him, like Damon, who will just come up to you and go, like, grab you and...
But either way, it puts you at ease a little bit. And I want to be like that, in a sense. Like, I'd like people to walk into a room and be like, oh, gravitate towards him, but that's never going to happen just because of how I am.
I'd always sit next to you, mate.
Thanks. But I think that's probably why we got on, because when we first met you years and years ago, it was like that. How's it going? I'm Dean, nice to meet you. Do you know what I mean? Where if you were just a bit like, hi, I'm Dean, I'd have been like, hi, I'm Wayne. Like, that would have been it, and then we never would have spoken.
Just staring at each other across the canvas.
Yeah, but I think that's it. Like, I think in that sense, sometimes opposites attract in a way.
Yeah, I think, again, I always say, like, you look at especially like the four of us, like me, you, Dale and Tom, we all do sort of balance each other out a little bit with how we are, and, I mean, Damon's probably even more out there than I am, I think.
And it probably works the other way as well a little bit. Like, I suppose, like, you might bring out that side, then I suppose sometimes maybe if things get
a bit
really up in the air and rowdy, you need somebody there, not necessarily saying I'm like this, but somebody that's an introvert could be, is like they rein it in a little bit, like, just by being how they are, if you know what I mean.
You are normally the sensible one. I mean, I always talk about that trip to Wigan. I don't think I've actually ever spoken about it on the podcast, where we went up on this Saturday, didn't we?
Yes.
Wigan, Norwich were playing away to Wigan on the Sunday.
Yeah.
And we got there at lunchtime, and you said to me and Tom, let's not start drinking now.
Oh, you're finally admitting to it, because this joke usually goes the other way around.
And by 6 o'clock, I couldn't even stand up.
Yeah.
And by 10:30, I was extremely ill.
I felt like the dad of the group so many times. Like, I ain't even going to lie. Like.
And then we wake up on this Sunday morning, and I just remember saying to you, like, I don't think I can go to the game. Just feeling like I was like Yoda walking into the stadium.
That was a great weekend, though.
It was, yeah. That was. But again, and it was just like, and I drink, so like not so much for me, but for like Tom, who like doesn't ever drink, to just be like, like just necking like whatever.
As soon as we got there, we hadn't even sat down.
Yeah. I remember you going, lads, let's not start drinking now because like. We've got all night and that, and then by
this is on record.
By 6:30, I just remember thinking, I'm in a lot of trouble here.
But then again, like I had a great time. Like I do worry that I'm too up. And people have said this before. And again, like I try not to judge myself. Like I don't care I am who I am, but maybe a bit too uptight sometimes. You know what I mean? Like
I would say
until I've had a drink. As soon as that first drop touches my lips.
We went to Spoons, didn't we? Probably last time we went to Spoons, firework night.
Yeah.
And a few of the lads that you know anyway, sort of know anyway, don't you?
Yeah.
Sort of came and joined us because there were no tables. How did you find that? Because obviously you know them, but you don't really know them, if that makes sense.
I enjoyed it. It was good. Yeah. It was a good laugh.
Because I was thinking, like, you're saying, like, you're quite, like, you wouldn't necessarily, like, make conversation.
Maybe is that just my perception? Because maybe if you don't see that, but maybe inside I just feel like I'm being really, shy and not talking.
I felt quite guilty because I said it without even really thinking about you. With, well, if you've got another sitters, come and join us. And then they were like, no, it's fine. And they walked off, and then they came and sat down. And it worked till I got home. I sort of thought, I didn't even say anything to Wayne. I just sort of sit down, be your friends.
No, because I think I've called myself an introvert many times in this podcast alone. But at the same time, like I love people and I love that interaction. Like it might burn you out a bit quicker, maybe. Like I probably couldn't do it all weekend. Like Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, I'd probably be like, I've been around people too much. I need some time to sit on my own. But in general, I do love being around people. So stuff like that would never bother me. Yeah. I think, I just think because I worry so much what people think about me all the time. It's just like this constant wheel going round. So eventually, it can like exhaust you a little bit.
I found that on Saturday, and like don't get me wrong, I've loved being at home, being with Joe, thank you, but being back at football on Saturday and seeing lads and being like back in that environment, and then down the pub afterwards, and like we're only there for an hour or so, but there was a little bit where I was like a bit of like a kid when I got home. So I was like, "You had a good day?" I was like, "Yeah, it was a really good day." Like, did you have fun in football? Yeah. Did you see a bow and bed? Yeah. Like it was a little bit like that, and I think I mean, I'm not, ironically not tonight, but I always like play football on Monday night with a few lads, and a lot of the time I'm a bit like, it's cold, I can't be bothered. But when I'm there, I just feel so much better for it. I don't think I could ever work from home. You know what I mean? I've got a few friends who work from home, and they're like, no, I love it. I don't think that'd be good for me to be at home.
No, I was the same. Like even that like office job I was on about stuff, like it wasn't enough interaction with people. It was all over emails and stuff. And again, like I think it's good to do stuff where you realise I don't want to do this, if you know what I mean, as opposed to, because it made me realise I think I do need a job that's like face to face and dealing with people. Yeah.
I think it was James was saying, I'm sure he won't mind me saying that he works for a company. I think he went nearly 2 years and never met anyone he worked with.
Wow.
Because they were all based up north. And it wasn't till like last year that they all got together. Mental, and he was like, I've worked with these people for 2 years, never met his boss. And it's just mad, isn't it? Like
that is crazy.
And I suppose that's just me almost being a bit old fashioned, but I'd much rather, I think if I was given the option, if I went start a new job and they said, oh look, you can work from home, maybe I don't know, I'd want to do it all from home.
No,
I think
I did it briefly after I come back from Europe, and I wasn't doing that many hours, granted, but I really didn't enjoy it. Yeah. It's so hard to get motivated as well.
Again, like you say you're an introvert, but you then want, surely if you would you not want to work at home if that's the case?
But that's what I mean. I'm so weird because I keep saying I'm an introvert at the same time I'm saying like I want to work with people. Yeah. It's so strange. I think what it is I want to work with people face to face, helping people. Like that's my main thing. Like when I think, if someone says to me like, what do you, I actually saw in a book a little while ago, I'm going to butcher the quote, but it said if you want to find your passion, think if you had all the money in the world and you'd already travelled everywhere, if money wasn't an issue in any regard, like there's no such thing as money, basically, you'd done all the travelling you possibly do, travelled the entire world, and you were going to get no recognition for what you did, what would you want to do? I was like, that's a really hard question, because most people, like, if you said to me, like, what do you want to do? I'd be like, travel, that's all I want to do. But if you've already done, and I thought it would be help people, and I suppose that would be, again, that could be the cop-out, because it's in that, like, circle of things people always say they want to do. I just want to, but it's true, like, that would be my thing, it's like, in some way would be like a job helping people.
Any idea what?
No idea. Like, people say go into care, but I'm like, I couldn't do that because I'm not responsible enough. I'd end up like,
say, like, you want to be like Batman or something.
Yeah,
like
basically I want to be a Cape Crusader. That's what I want to be. No, but that's the thing. But then at the same time, like I say, I keep saying about how much I worry. So I see it's like,
it's tough, isn't it? Yeah, I think even like for myself, like I've always said that I'd love to do, you know, like my coaching badges, and I'd love to do it. And I've been saying it for like years and years and years, and then just never done it. And it's now almost at the point where, not that I can't do it now, but one, it's so expensive to do.
Yeah.
Like level 1 and 2, not so bad. You go any more than that, it's just ridiculous. I almost feel now like, I'm too old. Do you know what I mean? I'm 32 next week. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I almost
but we all say that, don't we? It's bullshit. There's people out there that like start stuff in like their 60s.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
100%. Like, and there's people who go to uni and, you know, get degrees out of it. But there is part of me like now where I'm like, one, I just can't afford it because it's just too expensive. But also like, yeah, a little bit of regret. Like I should have.
No, but I'm exactly the same. 100%.
You know, and I just pull it off. And I think it was a confidence thing, you know. I'm confident in a group of people, but in terms of making a mistake or again having people judge you, that really, I'm not good with that. So like, for example, you know, you'd have to do a training drill. I think I'd really struggle if I thought that people weren't enjoying it, or someone gave a comment or look or something like that. I'd really struggle with that. Same as like, you know, I toyed with like maybe like going into like management. I just couldn't do it because I don't like confrontation in terms of like, what are you dropping me for? Like, or like what? I'd be no good at that. I'd have like 47 players turn up on a Saturday. And
that's
like,
the thing though, you think about the potential if you could work on that side of stuff. That's what I always think about. Like, if I could have that confidence and not to worry so much about what people think, because of, I guess, without sounding arrogant, but maybe some of my like I don't know, like the creative part of me, do you know what I mean? I think, mate, like what could I have done if I'd have like stuck with it? But then it's also the same as what you're saying, like why can't I do it? Why couldn't I? Because I always, I remember I was like just into ASDA, maybe 25, 26. And I remember somebody saying like, I really think you should do like I love psychology, like I just love shit like that. And they were like, I really think you should go into something like that. And I literally remember at the time saying, no way, like I'd have to be at uni for at least 6 years and then it'll probably 8 years for you. How long's it been now? Yeah. About 8 years. So if I'd actually knuckled down and done it then, I could be at a position where I can do it for like, as a career now, maybe like around, you know, I'd be 90% of the way through it. Yeah. So it's like, it's just an excuse. But again, this harkens back to the very first thing we said at the jump of the podcast is about the resolutions. It's just finding excuses.
Yeah, and I've done that. Like I think you know, my godfather, like he now lives in Finland, but he done all his coaching badges. His friend was, I think, like head of youth development at Luton. I think he's now at Tottenham. And I met him at my godfather's 50th a few years ago, and it was, come along, spend some sessions with us. Like, you can be our like guest for a weekend. We'll do this, we'll do that, and yeah. And then my godfather made a group chat with the three of us, and he was like, "Make sure you message him, you know." And I just never did. And I do look at that and think, shit. Do you know what? Like, opportunity missed. But now I do feel like now I'm always at an age and too much responsibility now I just don't have time to. I suppose if you want it bad enough, you make time, but I just don't feel like at the moment with everything else that's going on. Like,
that's understandable.
Where do I? So I do feel a little bit like the ship's probably potentially sailed, which is quite frustrating. So I'm going to sound like when people say it to me when I was younger, I'd think, oh, ball off, but just seize the moment. That's if I could tell myself
100%.
a younger self something, like 22-year-old, 21-year-old me would be, just do it. And what's the worst that can happen? And I know that I'm saying it to my younger self now, but I know I don't like driving a different way to work in the morning, let alone taking like risks, if that makes sense. And I am like not necessarily a tidy person, but structure. Like I need to know that my day is like do you know what I mean? I think the idea of trying something new,
100%,
is scary. I mean,
it's that fear of failure, isn't it? That's like I think I've said this before, but like worrying about what people think of me. I suppose you could link that in with the failure because it's the same thing, and it's failure of being what you want them to believe you are. So we'll just put it in the same bucket, but my fear of failure, I feel, is literally just like held me back from pretty much everything. Like in everything. I mean, not just like work, but even like friendships, like relationships, like everything. Like I guess even in some respects, like things you do for yourself, like when we were on about earlier, like the saving money and that, like maybe some of that can be like if I don't believe that I could be the type of person that is healthy and can actually be sensible with money or something, maybe it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way. It's like
a bit of self-doubt almost as well.
Yeah. Like if I don't have the confidence I can do it, maybe you just, I don't know.
And I think like the confidence then will, like you said, it makes you almost defeated yourself before you've started, you know. And I keep coming back to like the job that I do. Like I was so worried about because it all happened very quickly for me in the space of like a real short period of time. I went from like just doing what I was doing to like management. I was so worried about what other people were going to think, how has he got that job, how has he done that, that I was almost beating myself up before I'd even started. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just going, they're going to think what they can think, and I'm just going to do the best I can do, and hopefully they judge me on that, not on anything else.
Yeah. I mean, thinking about it, like, if you think about it, really, if you're spending your whole life, like, believing that you're a failure, in some ways, like, your thoughts are your reality, if you know what I mean. So it's like you're almost living that life, do you know what I mean? If I'm, like, saying, I'm never going to be able to do this, because, like, if you think that enough, you're probably changing, like, your entire, like, mindset, even maybe, like, your physiology, like, do you know what I mean? To be... to sort of
think like that.
Meet that expectation of failure. It's like,
I think, it's easy to play it safe sometimes, isn't it?
100%.
You know, play it safe and don't take any risks. But then I do look at it like now and think, and I do, like, even now, like, don't get me wrong, like, love my life, like, married, got Frankie, like, that, grateful for all of that. But I look sometimes and think, should have taken more risks when I was younger, and then maybe could have. Been doing it. Because I loved it. I was coaching at Higham for a little while, the youth football, and I loved that, you know. One, because I'm a big kid myself, but two, just getting a little, giving something back, if that makes sense. And then seeing how much like they enjoyed it. If that, you know what I mean? You get that sort of reward. I wouldn't want to do adult football or teen football because I just get annoyed and they started giving me attitude. I couldn't be dealing with that. So it's weird, isn't it? Weird how it all works out. But how is we've not touched on this yet, your CBT and your
I didn't go last week because I think it was around the first day when I started to get really ill, so I ended up not going just because I just felt so rough. Like it was only lasting like a few hours, but like a few hours every sort of evening I was feeling like, you know, you just feel really exhausted and you like can't keep your eyes open. So I ended up cancelling the last one. So I don't actually think I've been since we last did the last episode, I don't think.
Probably 2 weeks.
Yeah, but in general it was going fine. It really helped, and it sounds weird, but I feel like I've missed it because I didn't go. Like, I genuinely feel like it's almost like I had like a little map in my head of how I can change my thinking and all this, and now I've not had it this week. I'm a bit like lost at sea, a bit like can't remember. I think it's like that's the thing as well. Like I always have this. I don't know if you ever have it because it's quite a positive thing. But sometimes I have like this great insight. Like I'll just be laying there in bed at night or awake in the morning. I'll just think, I can do this, or I'll think of a way I can change my thinking pattern or something, and it will work for a few hours. Like I'll be at work and I'll be like, nothing's getting to me. I feel really good. and then like a few hours later it just all falls apart and all goes wrong, and then I try to remember like what I was doing, what I was thinking, and the like what tool I used to do it, and I kind of can't, and I struggle.
Yeah,
I don't
I was
know if
like,
you've ever had that.
I got it like New Year's resolutions. It was a similar thing, like I am going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then wake up first day back at work, and bopping around with it, and then by the time I got home, I was like, being like, just. Yeah, again, I suppose it's that.
But this could come. This again. This is probably going around in circles. Probably getting a bit confusing here. Probably not even make sense. But like, even that, I guess, can be a bit of that. Like, not believing in yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like taking the easy option out, because we all know that getting up, going to work, not letting stuff get to you, doing the right things, saying the right things to people is fucking difficult. Like it is. Like it's much easier for me to be pissed off with everyone at work. Do you know what I mean? It's much easier for me to like not help people and be. I think about it sometimes driving. I think that's a great metaphor. Like if someone cuts you up, like it's almost instinctual, isn't it? You get that split second where you're just like, you absolute. Again, the easy option. Like the difficult one's to be like, right, take a quick breath and realise that he just accidentally cut me up. Like again, I think choosing to be negative all the time can be taking the easy route sometimes.
100%, yeah. I always think as well, like, and I said this a little while ago to someone, like, the real heroes are the ones who get up every day, go to a job that they may not particularly enjoy, and fight battles that no one knows, and go to work with a smile on their face, and they're the people. And I look at it like, if I didn't know you and we didn't do this podcast, I just knew you from Wayne, that I used to work at Asda, and Wayne, I'd see out every now and then, like, I wouldn't know that you had any of those struggles, you know what I mean? Like, so from that point of view, like, like, I look at it and say to myself, like, okay, maybe career-wise I'm not maybe where I want to be, but the fact that we keep going, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like very deep there, doesn't it?
But thank you. I appreciate I appreciate you getting deep. But no, I know what you mean. Like I often think that. I often find it, and you do, like when you hear about people like taking their own lives and stuff, like usually there are people that have ended up or look like they're really happy, and like Robin Williams, like that example. It's like Yeah, you look at him, and again, like, I mean, go speed, like, from the outside, this is an, ex-professional football player, like, managing his country, like, just goes to show, doesn't it? So that's why I think, you probably, me and you both probably, and everyone, most people listen to this, like, if you're waking up in the morning and you're doing what I do, and your alarm goes off, and you think, oh, man, like, but you get up and you get it done.
Get it done, and then that's a win. Do you know what I mean? And that's bigger than, in my opinion, that's bigger than any promotion that you can have, and any financial gains, all the rest of it. The fact that you can be that person and keep going. That's something. So anyone that's listening to this now, like, hopefully there's plenty of people listening to it. It's not just me and you listening to it back.
Could well be.
But that's my opinion anyway.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, it's true. It's the biggest battle and the most important. Yeah,
I think so. And this is like a little therapy session for me and you as well.
It is, yeah. We said that before, didn't we? It is really good.
It's obviously not been as regular as we'd like at the moment, but hopefully we can start maybe getting some more structure back in it again.
Yeah, and I'll stop getting ill.
Well, yeah.
Maybe if I do my New Year's resolution of getting fit and healthy, we can actually film more than one every month.
We have got a couple of people that want to come on as well, so I do need to reach out to them and try and sort some dates out as well. And if anybody else wants to come on,
please do, It'd be nice to get some different ideas and perspectives and stories as opposed to people just listening to us. Yeah, that's just me and you. We'll wrap it on for 45 minutes. I think one day someone's going to come up to me and start spitting off parts of my life, and I'm going to be like, sorry, do I know you? Yeah. And then it's going to twig.
At least people are listening now, you know what I mean? Yeah. They're doing that. So I think you've come a long way from when we started this podcast, I don't know how long ago it was, 4 months ago maybe. I think I can see that you've come a long way. I don't know about you feeling yourself. I think when, I won't say too much, but you were going through a lot during the first recording.
Yeah.
And that was hard for me to see as your friend because you know yourself, you do, and same as me, rather than talk about, and again, you're probably better now, we're probably both better since we're doing this, but you're almost dismissive, do you know what I mean? And very much just not weighing, and I think you come, I don't know how you feel, I think in the 4 months you come.
Yeah, I felt like a different person when I like came back from that trip, which is strange because I was just, kept like making out it's like this massive crusade, and I was going to fight. It was like my hero's journey. I was going to find myself and come back. And I think in reality, like when I initially came back, I was like a weirdly different person.
Yeah, but not. I just think. And I think maybe it's, I suppose, in a way, a little bit what's happened for me at the moment. Do you think it was like reality hitting? Because I know that how I feel now, that we had the wedding, the honeymoon, thanking, Christmas, all within like 12, 13 weeks. So you're like on this bang, this massive high, and then you come back to reality, and it's back to work, and it's back to dark mornings and dark. Do you feel like maybe it was a little bit?
I think so.
Of that, like...
And I think I touched on it before. I think, like, because I felt like it was going to really change me, and, I was going to find myself and come back this really happy person, like, when you then wake up, like, a week later, and you're like, oh, God, I'm still the same. It just put me on, like... I think maybe it put me on a bigger low than I thought it did.
Do you think maybe you did achieve that? Like, maybe you did find yourself, because you then came back and have gone to CBT and have been open about it and have started, so maybe like that done more than you realised. Yeah,
I think you're right, and I think as well, like I had a lot of help as well, like even in ways that weren't necessary. I think sometimes like things can not seem like a good lesson at the time because they're really horrible, but afterwards you look back and you're like, actually, and I had quite a few of them around the time I come back, started actually asking for help. Like I think like going to CBT is like such a big, like, I think we discussed this before, but just me walking in there for the first time was like so scary, but also so like such a relief. Like I finally admitted, not just to my friends, because I mean, bad as it sounds, but sometimes obviously it can be a lot easier to talk to your friends, but like going to somebody that's not a friend and being like, I've got a problem, I need help. And really, it was just, I had a lot of support, a lot of people around the time just making me realise what's important, I think. Like, I remember having a conversation with somebody who, to be fair, I don't hang around with like massively or talk too massively, just around the time when things were getting bad. I think it was maybe when I just started CBT and stuff. And they randomly just said, like, I like hanging around with you. You make me feel really safe. Now, obviously, you know me. They didn't mean like physically, like, oh, nobody's going to attack me. Like,
I know what you mean.
For one thing, I'm the least imposing person in the world, and number two, I'm a lover, not a fighter. But obviously, they meant like, they could be themselves around me.
Yeah,
they can not, and just had little things like that, which kind of made me realise what's important. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't want to be the cool friend, the friend who does this, the friend, like, just that just little things like that. It made me realise what's important.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think, as much as I love doing this, there's not many friends that I'd be comfortable doing a podcast with. Do you know what I mean? I know we spoke about doing this for years, but I think even speaking to you, I don't even know what happened. Like, both of us, we just sort of went, right, let's just stop talking, let's just do it. And you came up from trouble and we've done it. But I don't think I could see myself doing the podcast with anyone else, mate. I think,
I agree. I agree.
Which is not against anybody else, but I just think we're very similar in some ways as well. Do you know what I mean? Opposite in other ways, but similar in some ways as well. Whereas, and we talk, me and you quite a lot on WhatsApp about, how are you? And I think that's one thing as a friendship group we've probably got better at the last year, maybe, like checking in, like You know, like I got a message from Tom today, like, you know, mate, how are you? Like, just generally checking in. We talk not every day, but 2 or 3 times a week. Just normally me abusing you about the football or taking the mick and stuff.
Yeah,
but
that's how we show love.
Yeah, it's a conversation start. And again, and I say it quite regularly on the podcast, and I say it again, like anyone, just scroll through your contacts. Someone that you've not spoken to in a while, send them a message, check they're okay. Because they might not be. And ask them twice. Again, like I say, ask them at the start of the conversation, ask them at the end. Because the reason we're doing this is to not encourage just men's mental health, but predominantly to get blokes talking.
And I think it did help. Like I say, I think it really did help. I feel like we've all got a lot better at it, like, since we started doing this.
And I've had people coming to me, like, people you consider like lads, you know, I'm down the pub or whatever else, and they come up to me and go, I love what you're doing. Like, I think it's brilliant. And you just think, do you know what I mean? Like, that's, for me, like, hearing that off not a stranger, but almost means as much as someone I'm really close to saying it. Because, not that they have to say it, but them listening to it is personal, and they probably hearing things about me that they didn't even know. Whereas for this, not stranger, but this lad who I sort of walk past and say I write to, for him to go, I've seen on Facebook what you're doing, like, it's amazing. Like, that's a win.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's
definitely.
That is a win.
Yeah. Yeah. So gotta look forward to the next one now, number 12.
Yes.
We need to do, I think, for, like, we said this about the 10th, but I think maybe for the 20th we do something special.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like Cafe Banger.
Yeah, I was just trying to think what. Or get pissed.
Yeah, just get absolutely... Maybe we could have, like, loads of people over and just, like, one at a time, they can come on and just you know, say what they want to say, you know?
Yeah, but you know, in that setting, it won't be very serious.
No, that's very true. That's very true. But it was good, mate. It was good to catch up, obviously.
Yeah.
We will try and get some more structure back, but I'm sure people can appreciate life for both of us just gets in the way, and, you know, being ill and, you know, whatever else. But yeah, hopefully we can get some more structure back.
Yeah, I think that's probably a nice way to finish the show then.
I do want to give a shout out to our sponsors, by the way.
Yes.
Thorny Clothing, who've kindly, I've still got to give you a hat, but donated some merchandise for us and are going to help towards sponsorship towards the podcast further down the line. So
check them out.
Yeah, put a link. There's also a discount code if you use, again, I'll put it on Facebook. But yeah, there's a discount code. Have a look, give them a follow. Help out a little small business trying to start up. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Yeah, if you're not already, give us a follow. Right, cool. We'll see you on the next one, man. Good to speak. Goodbye.